Hi and welcome, this is Matt Sharp. We're going to take a quick look at System 17 Evo to allow me to explain how System 17 Evo finds trades, how it's very selective and how it can improve your trading. We're looking at a 4-hourly chart. All the trades start out on a 4-hourly chart, and what we look for is a direction first of all. And what we're looking for is for the direction indicator here to move below the zero line as you see here, and for this indicator to become red. These are now both lined up, and at this point we can then start to look for a trade. We don't just look to jump in on a short trade. What we're looking for is a low risk trading opportunity, and that we get by using Fibonacci. And we look for the price to move back to the 38 or 62% level. If it goes beyond the 62% level as a retracement of this down move, we'll probably find that the indicators will by that point be suggesting a long trade. So we obviously won't be taking a short trade. What we're looking for is this sort of retracement here, where price just gets back to this area, just touches that line or just goes up to this line, no further, and then we'll look for a short trade on a 15-minute or 30-minute chart. As you can see here, it does just touch. Now, we don't have to sit and watch the charts. Once we've got this situation, we've actually can set an alert on the chart, and once that price is hit, a window will pop up telling us that that the price has been hit. So we can then go to the chart and actually have a look to start to focus in on the entry. And I'm just looking at the time and date of that one. That was the 7th of December. So if we go back to the 30-minute chart and look for the 7th of December, we'll see what sort of a setup we got. Now this is where System 17 then comes into use. I just need the level of the 4-hourly chart. That was 107.07. So if we put a line here at 107.07, which is there, you can see that we did just touch it here. It was just a touch, literally, but at that point we can start to look for a trade. Now, this is System 17. The 4-hourly charts, as I say, use a couple of indicators, as you saw, to define where we want to get into the trade, because System 17 will give trades more often than we really want to take. So we want to filter those trades out by using that 4-hourly chart. Once we've got this set up, now we can look for a proper entry on System 17. We have this indicator here is telling us the direction. That is in agreement, it's red, so it's in agreement with our analysis from the 4-hourly chart. That is essential. What we then look for is a correction, and that's what we have here. This is green. So this is a correction against the main trend. What we then do is look for our two indicators here to tell us that we have an entry. This is saying that we want to go short. This is telling us we want to go short at this point here. A final check to before we actually get into the trade is for it to break a trend line. Very old-fashioned, very basic, very simple, but it works. There are sometimes when System 17 will give a signal which doesn't actually break a trend line. It's just in the middle, if you like, of an area like this, where the price is just bouncing around sideways and not really a sort of trade that we want to take. By using a trend line, we can then filter that trade. So although we've got a signal here, our entry isn't until the price breaks this trend line. And as you can see, we've actually got a bar here that does just close below that trend line. It hasn't cost us much money. It's only a few pips in size. Therefore, we can look to get into a trade short at this point here. Get rid of that. That was our initial retracement level. We now get into a trade here with a very tight stop loss, simply up to that level there. And we look for, initially, the way we trade this is a 1-to-1 risk reward on the first part of the trade. And as you can see, that was hit on this bar here. Once we got to that point, two ways of trading it. Either leave the stop loss at this point here, so if the price does come back right the way up here on the second part of the trade, both parts being equal size, we end up with an overall break-even trade, because we've made 1-to-1 on the profit side. We've then given back that 1-to-1 on the loss side on the second part of the trade. Or more aggressive, is to move the stop down to the entry level there and leave the stop at that level there, and then look to take around about 2 or 3 to 1. There's a couple of techniques that I explained in System 17 in the course to try and get the really big moves, if that's the way you want to trade. For instance, back here, if we were looking to get short here, then we've got some nice down bars, and we would simply move the stop down. Once we were in the trade, we've got this down bar, wait for the next nice down bar, that occurs there. We could move the stop down just above that, the next down bar, move it down to that level, next down bar, and you simply move the stop down with the price action. You let the market tell you what to do. In this case, you would have moved the stop down to this level from the initial entry up here, and you would in fact be stopped out sometime later up. In fact, no, sorry, there's another decent down bar there. You'd be stopped out at that level there for about twice the profit as the risk, and that's what we look for. Let's look at another example on another market, looking at the pound on this occasion. Our direction indicator has gone below the zero line, so we're looking for a short trade. We need to wait one more bar until here for this indicator to also go red. We're now looking for a short trade. However, there is another proviso, and that is that we have to have made a low lower than the last retracement in the previous direction. It's not too complicated, but price hasn't yet got below this one here. As you can see, that's a very small bar. So we need to wait for price to break below that level to confirm, for the price action to confirm what our indicators are telling us. That happens on this bar here. So at that point here, at the end of this bar, we can then put on a Fibonacci and look for a retracement back up to this level here. As you can see, it doesn't happen. Price carries on down lower. We simply move the Fibonacci down further. Doesn't happen. Moves a little bit lower on this bar. Then here we do get a retracement back to the 38.2 level, and that level is 61. We'll call that 1.6200. So at that point we switch to the 30-minute chart. That's the level 1.6200. As you can see, we do hit it here. We've got a trend line in place. We look for our indicators here to give us the correct setup, a signal for a trade. The first one was here. That was, in fact, way too early in the morning to actually take a trade, and it didn't. At that point, there was no trend line for it to break. So we have to wait and be patient. Oh, sorry, it hadn't even reached our level. So it didn't reach our level until this line. So it's not until after this bar here that we start to look for a short trade. Our next setup is here. This has changed colour. This has changed colour. That's the down bar. It doesn't break the trend line. We have to wait further. This is our next line. It does break the trend line, and we have the correct colour there. We've gone yellow. This has also changed from bright green to dark green. That is a setup. We can therefore get into this trade at that point there. Our stop loss would be at that point there. Our 1-to-1 profit target is, in this case I would actually choose this previous low here. It's slightly less than 1-to-1, but pretty damn close. And as you can see, it makes that level there. Again, once we've done that for the second part of the trade, we can move the stop loss to break even if we want to, or we can start to follow the down bars. And as you can see, if we were to do that, we would move it down to this point, and we would make a profit around about twice our risk again on this trade here. And it's this selective method of deciding which trades to take and which trades not to take that makes System 17 give some pretty impressive results. It's not a matter of simply looking at the chart and saying, oh, we've got an arrow here, for instance. It does take a little bit more analysis to select the better trades. As I said earlier, System 17 will give signals which, for instance here, there's a short trade signalled here, which you wouldn't take. There was no evidence on the 4-hourly chart. What are we on, the 27th of December? There was no evidence on the 27th of December that we wanted to get into any sort of trade. I really can't spend much more time explaining System 17 Evo on this video. However, I have run a free webinar a couple of weeks ago, and if you'd like to watch the recording of that, simply go to tradershub.com System 17 webinar, all one word, or of course there is a link in the description box down below, and there's probably even an ad appeared somewhere down here that you can click on that will take you immediately to that free webinar. As I say, it's about 30 minutes and it will fully explain System 17, how it works and how it can benefit your trading. I look forward to seeing you there. Cheers for now.